Good morning. It's like almost daylight. This camera makes it look like it's a lot more daylight than it is. It's really not. But it is almost daylight. Yeah, good morning. Another rainy day. No weed trimming for me for the last 2 or 3 days because during the good weather I was inside working. It's supposed to do this shit like most of the freaking day too. Okay, before I get too far away from home, let me make sure that I have, yes, okay. I had to make sure I have my shit that I was supposed to have with me today, and I have it, so we're good. This rain, I'm so tired of it. You guys, I'm so tired of this rain. But come August, July and August, we'll all be like, damn, I wish it would rain. Damn, we really need rain. Because that's the way it works. That's what it's supposed to be. Oh, phew, blah. I'm tired. I couldn't fall asleep last night. I really couldn't. So I didn't get much sleep last night. I mean, I got like just a half hour less than I normally get, my normal 4 hours, but yeah, it was it didn't feel like it. It didn't feel like it, trust me. I posted the song of the day. I don't know why that song was just in my head, man. I don't even know where it came from. That's a universe thing. It slapped me upside the head. That was meant to be the song of the day. That's no question. That was the song of the day. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Go check the community. My work brother's older brother is coming to work with us on our team like 2 days a week or something. It was funny because I called my work brother, brother, and he goes, so what are you going to call him when he starts? Is he going to be your utter brother? And I said, probably, yeah, my utter brother. So now I got a brother and an utter brother. Oh. Yeah, this weather's kicking my ass as far as my arthritis is concerned. And that's something I meant to do before I left the house. Put on my signature scent, my Bengay. My icy hot. I forgot to do it before I left the house. I meant to do it. And that's the one thing I forgot this morning. Oh well. At least it's just that. You know, I've got some icy hot somewhere in my bag. I'll slap some on. that I bought specifically for while I'm at work so I don't have to get stuff all over my hands. I got the roll-on, the icy hot roll-on. At home, I use the Bengay cream. It's generic. It's the one I get at Save-A-Lot for like $2 or some shit. And man, I use the hell out of that stuff. I go through like a tube a week. But it sure does feel good, though. It sure does feel good on my back, let me tell you. Oh. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to make for supper tonight. I got no idea. I don't know. Stouffer's might make supper tonight. We haven't had meatloaf in a bit. I could make some mashed potatoes. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Stouffer's is gonna cook tonight. I promise you, I cannot make a decent meatloaf from scratch that will cost less than Stouffer's. Well, I can't make one anyway. Somehow, I don't know how Stouffer's does it. There's nothing in there about breadcrumbs. Nothing in there about breadcrumbs. And you know, when you make meatloaf from scratch, you have to use like some kind of either breadcrumbs. Some people use cornflake crumbs. Hell, I've used Captain Crunch and like put it in a Ziploc bag with a rolling pin. And that was a really good meatloaf too. Let me tell you, the Captain Crunch, that was some good meatloaf. But somehow they make the meat all stick together, you know, without the eggs and the breadcrumbs. How do you do that? I don't know how they do it, but they do it. Because my son's allergic to eggs, and I can't do anything with eggs. And most of the breadcrumbs, I think the panko breadcrumbs are safe, but I'm not sure. But anyway, breadcrumbs are a no-no, most of them, because they are made with seed oils like palm kernel oil, cottonseed oil. Okay, you know, they do all this shit. Anyway, he's allergic to all that stuff because he has a nut and seed allergy. He can eat peanuts, but he can't eat any other kind of nuts or seeds. Poor kid. And we didn't know. I didn't know, and it was like an accident, and it took a lot of trial and error to figure out, okay, what's the common denominator, because he would eat something and then 3 seconds later I'd hear, or 10 seconds later I'd hear, "Mom, my tongue's itchy." I'm like, what? I turn around and look, his eyes are like all red rimmed and shit. Okay, the fuck are you doing? You can't just be out in the fucking road like this. People drive on the fucking road. Dumbass. Yeah, his little eyes would be all red rimmed and shit, and he'd have splotches all over his face. Mom, my tongue's itchy. Well, that's not the only thing going on here. We found out by accident. I found out by accident. I couldn't figure out what it was. Because I was like, okay, this doesn't have this in it, but yet he was still allergic to it, or he'd have a reaction, and then I'd be like, well, this doesn't have this or this in it, and he'd still have a reaction, and I'm like trying to narrow stuff down, you know. So we finally narrowed it down by the time he was like 6 or 7, and then still there are things that, you know, you don't think about that are just like the seed oils. I never gave that a second thought, ever. And I was like, that came after the nutmeg. Because me, not really putting 2 and 2 together, that nutmeg gets its name from a nut, a tree seed. It's a tree seed. It's a tree seed. Hence tree nuts. And I was like, what the fuck? I wasn't thinking, you know, it's just stuff that you don't really think about, you know. And I'm like, okay, so now I have to check ingredients of almost everything I buy, and I try to be diligent about it, and I try to remember, okay, he can't have this, he can't have this, he can't have this, and I try to remember, and I try to be diligent about it, but there are some things that you just don't think about, that you know. Nutmeg, I thought it was a spice. Yes, it is a spice, but it comes from trees. I didn't know that. It comes from tree seeds. I didn't know that. I had no idea. Found that out by accident too. I was like, oh, son of a bitch. Because, you know, sometimes you don't think about the origins of a word, you know. And nutmeg, I don't know why I didn't think of that, but for some reason it just didn't occur to me that they would call it nutmeg because it comes from a nut. So, you know, it's crow. Hi. It can get tricky. It can get really tricky. But, you know, we muddle through, we get through it. And the egg thing was an accident too. He's never liked eggs, even when he was little. And I don't even remember what we were eating. We were eating something and it was made with eggs. I think it was French toast. And I had made the French toast myself. And I was like, okay, I know what I put in there. I know what I put in that French toast. The only thing in it is milk, eggs, and vanilla flavoring. I know what I put in there, right? It was the fucking eggs. We're like trying to narrow shit down, and I'm like, the only thing in there is milk and egg. I know you're not allergic to milk because you drink milk all the time, you know. It's like, I know you're not allergic to vanilla because it's basically just, you know, it's vanilla, and maybe he is. Vanilla comes from vanilla pods, which is it's a seed that grows on a tree. God damn it. See, your brain has to put things together, and you know, when you've got 9 million things going on all at the same time, it's kind of hard to put things together, especially when your brain doesn't work very well. Well, there you go. Something else I have to look out for. Oh, shit. Okay, well, I'm going to eat first breakfast and sit and kind of meditate for a few minutes because I really need to meditate. I haven't meditated in a bit. And get my mind right. So I will do that. I will catch up with you later. And do your best. Try not to die. And thanks for coming. Bye.